All right, we're back on. Was literally just disconnected for some reason. My browser just shut off. What an interesting day in the tech space, right? I feel like everything is coming back on right now, but it was quite the quite the quite the day, I guess. Oh my goodness, hold on. I got cut off in one of these streams. I gotta delete this one. And we'll go here. Yeah, Rishabh was I thought YouTube was down for a second. No, I got my browser. I've been having issues with Edge, which is the browser that I use by choice, and it has like some sort of issue with my the USB card that I use for my camera, the Elgato. I don't remember what it's called. I know it's an Elgato related device, and it'll freeze my camera. But it's interesting because it's only an Edge, and then when it freezes the camera, whatever tab it's occupying also like freezes. So then I have to it either like force quits itself or I have to. So yeah, that's the issue that I have. But anyway, and then I just tried to hop back in, recreate it as quickly. So I just put random stream. But my goal today is to talk a little bit about Hacktoberfest. We could talk a little bit about what's going on today in the tech world with Facebook being down, Instagram being down. Windows 11 comes out. I think it's out already for some people today, and then some more tomorrow, which is very cool. I would like to know if anyone's already using it. If someone's on the Insider program or something like that, it'd be cool to get your perspectives. What else happened this week? Oh, we're looking for contributions for the Learn to Cloud guide. If you have projects that you want to showcase and you have sort of write-ups alongside those projects, and then something that you can provide for the community to do. We'd love you to add your projects to the repo, and then we're putting together some prizes or stuff like that we can give to people who do contributions. And obviously, there's Hacktoberfest going on, so it's a win-win, right? This week the Cloud Administration series starts, which is great because if you're looking for an introduction to cloud, I think admin and admin related work is a solid first step. We're going to be covering identity, CLI, VNets, and monitoring, which in my personal opinion and my experience in cloud computing and in these roles are really, really important skills, and probably the ones that cover the majority of things you would do in administration roles. The one thing I didn't include was cost, optimization and being able to dive deeper into cost management, mainly because that requires a little bit more data. And I don't have that on an account that I could share, right? I only have that on mine, which I don't know how much I want to share about. But yeah. So those four, we're going to be covering those. You can see my reflection in this case. It's kind of weird. We're covering those four topics over the next month, one every week. We're going to be doing Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, which is an interesting time because I've been doing all my streams sort of in the morning in terms of the technical streams. So now taking more of the approach of a evening stream, I'd like to see how it goes. Hey, GBS, love the content as I've been thinking about career in cloud and tech. I'd love to work on a project TAD. Are there any entry-level careers to consider besides help desk? Yeah, I mean, every space in tech sort of has entry-level, entry-level roles. It's just that, what they would consider entry-level, most people probably wouldn't consider entry-level, right? So, you'll see software gigs that say, 2 to 4 years of experience for entry level. You'll see DevOps gigs that will say the same. You'll see cloud gigs that will say something similar as well. The only reason I say help desk is because if you have some retail experience, you could probably land a help desk gig. If you don't have any tech experience, you could probably land a help desk gig if you interview well, right? Besides help desk, I wonder if the chat can help out with that, because I don't really like to give advice on, or like, yeah, I guess advice on things that I haven't put myself through. I'm trying to think what other like very entry level gigs there are, and I think sysadmin could probably be something that's also pretty entry level friendly, like a junior sysadmin, right? And then you're where you're at is more of like, it's similar to help desk because it's a support role as well, but you're more internal than dealing with external customers and such. What's another good entry level gig? You could probably also land a junior like developer gig, but you would need like some solid projects and with like programming and a solid GitHub, or something like a boot camp could possibly help there too. Let's see. I think you might be able to do like a cloud admin role. I don't know. That might be tough. I guess what I'll say here is like, apply. Like, don't let any of these things that I'm telling you or your lack of experience. If you feel like you can hit like 50% of the requirements in the job description, like give it a shot, because you never know what may happen. So, junior sysadmin, network admin. Yeah. Junior sysadmin is definitely a good, another thing that you could probably try. Junior network admin, possibly. Yeah, possibly. I don't have any network admin experience. Yeah, I guess so, because network admin versus network engineer are different things, right? So that's very possible as well. Yeah, and then in cloud, I would say, yeah, like cloud admin is probably like the most entry level friendly. But the other day I met someone who said that they landed a solutions architect, as their first role in cloud, and I was just like so surprised. But then what it was that they had like been working with that company and in a cloud role previously, or in a tech role previously, and then they said that they leveraged like their relationships with other people in the company, and then their current experience, and they used that and ended up getting a solutions architect role. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's a little different. Very possible, right? Just thought I'd swing in and say hi and thanks to yourself, as I just got a job offer on a new role, junior cloud infrastructure engineer, due to your inspiration and guidance. Thanks. That is amazing. A very, very applause to you. Junior cloud infrastructure engineer. That's quite the title there, and I'm pretty sure you're in for a very challenging, in a good way, role. Yeah, cloud engineer was definitely one of the roles where I was like, what is going on? But I learned so much, and there was like so many projects that I was able to work on because of that role. It was a little all over the place, a little chaotic, but it was great. I'm very proud of you. IT questions with Nige. That's freaking awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I hope you keep coming back and like letting us know how you progress in your career, and always be learning, and enjoy these successes, right? Take some time to like enjoy the things that you've actually accomplished. So congratulations to you. Lone Wolf, what's up, GPS? How's everyone doing? Wild day today for Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram and stuff like that, right? How many certs do you need to be a solutions architect? I don't really think certifications help for solution architect roles. I think it's just like a matter of experience, because you're the blueprint for the project. You need to know what services to use, why you're using them. You need to be able to put together these solutions from scratch, and you can only really get that with like years of experience in projects. If you want certifications that could like help, I guess, your own guided learning, you'll go for like the AWS certified solutions architect associate, and then the pro level. For Azure, you'd probably want to look into like the 303, the 304. I'm not familiar with the ones on Google, but those. Yeah, solutions architect are roles of years of experience. I'll definitely document on YouTube. Thanks. Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see your videos. What's up, GPS? Hey, everyone. How's everyone doing? Monday, right? It was a tough day today. Chris, how are you doing? I know you were learning Python a couple months ago. I know you were doing some CCNA or networking things. I'd love to know how that's going. Boris, hey, how are you doing, Boris? It's very nice to see y'all. It's very nice to chat the top of the week with everyone. Usually I do these at the end of the week, but then by then I'm exhausted and sort of like burnt out, right? So it's nice to start a week with a stream, right? Yes. Monday fun day. Yeah, definitely Monday fun day. What does everyone think about the with Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp being down, and at some point Telegram was down as well because of the influx of people switching from trying to sign up for Telegram, and I'm sure Signal had some new users and things like that. But like I'd love to hear people's opinions on how that go, how that went for them. Cleared my CCNA. That's awesome. I know that's a really tough certification, so that's very, very happy to hear that. How did you prep? How long did it take you? Give me the details. I do everything's going pretty well for me. Currently working on a computer science degree as well. That's awesome. Very, very awesome. I can't remember who I was talking to about school lately, but it's like been on my mind a lot lately. I don't think it's anything I would do like this year, maybe sometime next year or the year after that. But like school is definitely one of those things that's just always on my mind for some reason. BGP. It's wild. It's wild. I think the conspiracy theories around it is pretty wild as well. Yeah, it's what a wild day for the internet. I know Twitter was off the rails today because of nobody being able to do anything except like tweet what's going on. But it seems like stuff is like back online, right? Instagram, Facebook being down feels too much of a coincidence with the whistleblower. I started reading more into that, and I thought like it did seem kind of fishy. I saw someone tweet something like, "No better cover up to something than like deleting prod," which I thought was extremely hilarious. I'm not here to say either way. I just thought it was funny. Mahmoud, hi. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, but hello. That's my last on the ground certification. Now neck deep in Azure, in cloud certs, Azure all the way. Haha. Another Azure fan. That's awesome. Yeah, Microsoft Learn's your best friend, right? And then once you pass your first year certification, you got recertification for free. You got all the content out there for free as well. So it's great. Welcome to the Azure world. I've been surprised that they introduced IT in my computer science classes. I got intro to networking, sysadmin, cyber. Wow. That is an impressive curriculum, actually. I was also talking to I can't remember who about this, but how like there's like very little cloud computing in comp sci curriculums, which is it's so cool. Why that like for like the like what we do in advocacy, like the academic team here at Microsoft, they've been rolling out like introduction to data science curriculums, introduction to machine learning curriculums, and I think they did an introduction to JavaScript, all that kind of stuff in the past couple of months. So it's been cool to see like sort of what we aren't able to pick up on at university. We'll have like all these free resources coming out. Yeah, I think the world needs to know about Bastion and network security groups, and just Azure UI is so amazing. I mean, if anything, today was a solid reminder of how important it is to have like at least a solid foundation of networking when it comes to infrastructure and cloud, right? The Azure UI is so amazing. I will say out of GCP, AWS, and Azure, I definitely do like. I'm not gonna lie, I really like the GCP UI. I like how it's like the UI and UX because I like how it's like divided in projects, and when you're in a project, you only see the dedicated resources to that project. I really like that division. Whereas with Azure, you have all your resource groups, and then once you click into the resource group, you'll see all your resources. But there's like if you go back like one, you can see all your stuff listed there. And then AWS doesn't have a clear division like that. So it's like, it could get easy to like to make a mistake or to get lost confused. But GCP is my top UI, then Azure, then AWS. Azure storage is a breeze to deal with, especially if you come from like an operations background using something like Azure Files for like network. What is the word I'm thinking of? Azure Files for like a file share, but that's with the cloud. It's really easy. Yeah. And then Blob, of course, your object storage, very, very easy to work with. Yeah. But like I'm excited to hear you're diving into the Azure world. Let's talk about the AZ-700. What is the AZ-700? AZ-700. Designing and implementing Microsoft Azure networking solutions. Let's take a look at the outline, shall we? Let me share the screen though. I have like a million tabs open though, so let me close some of these first before you guys see what I'm looking at. New Azure certification. When did this come out? I'm not up to date with my. All right, let's take a look at this. Let me go a little larger here. So designing and implementing Microsoft Azure networking solutions. Fantastic. A dedicated networking certification. I like it. Let's take a look at what we have here. Design, implement, and manage hybrid networking. Okay. See, when people say multi-cloud, I say hybrid. Not that they're the same thing. I just feel like there's more hybrid opportunities and like already existing opportunities and people who will leverage multi-cloud. Design, implement, and manage the site-to-site VPN connection. Pretty sweet. Point-to-site. Express route. Design and implement private IP addressing for VNets. Design and implement name resolution. I've heard the word DNS so much today. Design and implement cross VNet connectivity. I did some videos on this, I remember. But it was in the context of the 303 and 304. It wasn't in the context of this. What is this? AZ-700? This is 700, right? Yeah, cool. Not going to lie, I really want to do a series around just specifically networking. And now that this is out, I'm probably going to do something around it. Mainly because it's going to force myself to like get more up to date with this kind of stuff. All right, IP addressing for VNets. All right, we already looked at this. WAN architecture, VNet routing, load balancing, application gateway, front door, traffic manager, a NAT, firewall, network security groups, WAF. It's a funny word. Monitoring, private link, private endpoint, VNet integration for PaaS services. Oh, cool. Okay, so you even go into app service, AKS, and app service environment. Wow. I really want to take this one. I feel like I have some downtime in like December, so maybe I'll study for it then. But this looks great. Thank you for letting me know about this. I didn't know it was let's go one back and let's see. When was this released? Like I had no idea about this. Oh, and there's even a learning path already. That's not that bad either. It's like 9 hours and a half. That would probably take me 20 hours, 20, 30 hours. Because as y'all know, like I showed you last stream, my AWS developer certification notes is like 50 pages. I take quite extensive notes, so it takes me forever to get through this stuff. So introduction to Azure virtual networks, hybrid networking, express route, HTTPS, load balance. Okay. This sounds like a pretty good cert to go for. Did I lose some questions here? Any advice getting back into tech-specific cloud with 9 months data center experience and 2 short-term deployment projects? So you need to have your projects documented somewhere. or at least be able to, by documented, I mean be able to reference them in your resume, but also maybe have like a blog post or something like that. And I don't say this because there's like a guarantee that people will read it or anything like that. It's mainly for you to be able to become comfortable with talking about these projects that you've done, because when it comes to interviewing, you're going to have to be able to like talk about those things. Data center experience. I mean, that's like pretty like broad, like what exactly were you doing? Like data center experience, were you like maintaining servers? If so, then you can leverage like your operations / administration for like something in cloud. So what you probably want to do is like take things that you've done with your on-prem experience and then do them in the cloud, like become familiar with deploying infrastructure with the CLI and all the kinds of things that you were doing already. Just figure out how they get done in whatever cloud platform you have of choice, right? Become comfortable with talking about these things. Yeah. When things break, everyone turns to the network. I mean, we were talking on the last stream with Scooter, who's a solution architect at Red Hat, and like she said, like the cloud is just a bunch of Linux servers that are networked together, right? That's how we're gonna troubleshoot it. New AZ cert. Yeah, I didn't realize that this was an actual thing. Do you know when they announced this? Also, what certification should I take into? All right, so go take a look at this, okay? Learn to cloud.guide. It's sort of an outline from like 4 phases of how you can get into like a solid foundational level of knowledge when it comes to cloud computing. I put that together with my friend Rishabh. It's based on like my experience of going from help desk to cloud engineer. We're covering you sort of cover Linux administration, networking, like a foundation, scripting, programming, a foundation, a cloud platform, again a foundation, and then some DevOps practices, which is version control, infrastructure as code, and CI/CD pipelines or CI/CD. So go take a look at that. And then it talks about certifications and all that kind of stuff in there. So, wait, hold on, where are we? Last week, it came out last week. Wow, I missed the certification world mainly because I like to know because I think it's a very interesting and very promising educational area. I just can't keep up. I remember that Azure has the market share. AWS is close second. No, AWS has the more market share, and then Azure is close second. I'm doing AZ-700 third. You already scheduled your AZ-700? Did you start studying for it already? Now going not 20. I'm telling you, with Azure networking services, it just falls in place nice and clean. Network security groups and Azure firewall VNets, amazing interface. What I do remember is when I was studying for the 303 and the 303 and the 304, there was like a lot of tools available in the portal itself, so in the UI to like troubleshoot things. I remember that, which was pretty neat. Going for my CCNA, RHSCA, and cloud certification next year. You think getting both AWS Azure certs is a waste of time? Also learning Python in a couple of months. I wouldn't say it's a waste of time, but like I would say focus on one and gain a good understanding. And then if you, for some reason, need the other one, then go for that one, right? Typically, I tell people that focus on the one that has the most jobs where you're looking to get jobs. For me, it was Azure. For other people, it's going to be AWS, GCP, whatever it might be. It's just like there's already so much to learn with one cloud platform. I can't imagine being a beginner and trying to focus on 2 at the same time. So I would say just go with one. In terms of like your networking certifications that you mentioned here, they could be of use, but I feel like the CCNA and the RHSCA are like very in-depth networking certifications. Not saying you shouldn't get them. I'm just saying like maybe do like one and then get a cloud cert and then get the Python and then do a bunch of projects. And then sort of like once you have that like base level, and then go like, all right, let me supplement with this, and then this next step, right? I've done networking classes in school, but I do not have a networking certification. Should I do a NATE certification to help me get into cloud? I got a BS and MS in cybersecurity, but I don't have no certs yet in my 40s. You have a bachelor's and a master's in cybersecurity. Do you have any technical experience in terms of like work, like any tech jobs? Because that's a quite impressive resume if you have an MS in cybersecurity. Learning anything new is never a waste of time. Definitely. Just be like smart and strategic about it, right? Like, it's really easy to get lost in the certification game where it's like, oh, I got one and then I share it and then I got another one and then another one and another one and another one and another one and another one. I think after like a certain point, you're just collecting them to collect them, like Pokemon cards. Well, let me not say Pokemon cards because like Pokemon cards like very valuable these days. But what I mean is, just make sure you're being strategic about learning because I know these certifications aren't free. Learning resources aren't always free. So, you can jump right into cloud. Yeah, I mean, if this is your background, I don't see why if you've gone through a BS and an MS in cybersecurity, I'm pretty sure you have to have some scripting skills. You have to have some networking skills here. You have to have some like solid projects if you went through school for those things. Just make sure they're like available to view and then make sure you can speak to them. And I don't really see why you would have an issue of landing a gig with like a MS in cybersecurity. It's quite impressive. What do you use to stream? I use what is the one with the duck? Oh, StreamYard. StreamYard. Learn to cloud.guide. Here we go. Let me see. Currently lacking the experience, most of the knowledge is in compliance, but still have had a hard time keeping a job for more than a year due to lack of experience. Currently job hunting again. If you have a lot of knowledge in compliance, you could go towards something that has like focus on identity. So for example, Azure has Azure Active Directory and stuff like that. That also depends if that's like what you like. Yeah, but I mean, I know you mentioned here that you've had a hard time keeping a job, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have that experience. So, unless you ended on like bad terms or something like that, you could always put it on your resume. Currently, due to lack of experience, currently job hunting again. Yeah. My college offers a master's in cybersecurity and IT. Do people just have certs? In IT, do most people just have certs or degrees? There's a mixed bag here. There's people with certs and degrees. There's people with just certs. There's people with just degrees. There's people with nothing. It was funny because I was talking to someone like last week, like a coffee chat, and they're on they work at Microsoft, and their job is to sort of like work with external clients, and just build solutions with them. So they'll like integrate themselves in the engineering team of some sort of enterprise client for months and build out things like that. And then I'd asked this person, like, how did you get into that? And then they told me that like in the 90s when they were getting started in tech, like they had dropped out of college, like back in the 90s, right? And it wasn't like an uncommon thing. Like plenty of people were landing gigs without degrees then. And then I told this person, like, whenever I bring up the conversation of like college degree or self-taught kind of thing, it always seems like a taboo. And then they mentioned like yeah, it's been a thing in tech forever, really. Like why they don't understand like why it's a difficult thing to talk about. Yeah, but we're definitely a mixed bag here in the space. Like there's no like one recipe. It's not like cookie cutter. I genuinely believe like with like some tech experience, solid projects, and the ability to interview well, like you can do pretty well. Yeah, but it's like not one specific set of things that you have to do. All over LinkedIn, people post collections of certs, dozens of certs in cloud in one or other major platforms. I think if anything, it hurts them. It makes no sense to me, in my honest opinion. Yeah, like I have the AWS Certified Developer Associate, which is expired, and I do not plan on renewing it. Then I have the AZ-900, which is an entry-level certification that I got last summer. I mainly just got it to prove a point that it's not an easy certification to get. And that's pretty much, I have the Linux Essentials. That was a fun one to study for. But I think the people who just do it, like, I get a new certification every month. That's great for them, but I feel like it pushes their narrative that isn't necessary. Because certs are like, if you average them to be like $200 each, like It's a lot of money. What do you think about the Azure role-based certifications and how to do the renewal work? It expires every year or something. Yeah, so once you get one, it expires every year, and then because recertification is free, and then the content and like the educational content that you need to, recertify is also free. Personally, I like this because I felt like the reason I didn't renew my AWS certified developer one was because I think it was like it expires in 2 or 3 years, and I just kept pushing it off. Whereas if it was like 1 year, I would have been like more aware of it, and it would have been more like urgent in my mind, like, oh, I only have 12 months to work on this. And sorry, like I just got a message and it distracted me. Right. So the year was, I think it's like a pretty good, because when you think about it, you're probably going to be studying stuff in a year, right? So I feel like it's a good timeline. And I also like that recertification is free. It kind of keeps you going. Like, it keeps you like, all right, cool. Like if I'm going to be studying something anyway and I don't have to pay for it and all the content is available free, like why not do it? In my experience, 20 plus years in IT, you don't need a degree, but if you pursue any kind of managerial IT role or director of IT, you will need a degree. Yeah, I guess if you like want to go straight to that, maybe. I don't know if you want to work your way up, if it's also like an issue. Yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily think I would ever want to go for a managerial IT role. I don't know. But yeah, I don't have any insight as to like if you need a degree to be a manager. Some people collect certs like Pokemon gym bags. Oh, gym badges. Badges, not bags. I'll never understand. Yeah, it's I don't know. Yeah, it's like tech social media is easy to get lost in with you sort of get lost in like, oh, I get a lot of likes when I post about this kind of stuff. I'm guilty of that as well. So I guess it can become addictive from that standpoint, right? I'm taking the AZ-900 this Friday. Do you have any websites you recommend to study? I recommend Microsoft Learn. The AZ-900 would be... I like to recommend free resources, really. Let me find the website. AZ-900. And... bear with me, everybody. All right, let's go back here. Where's it here? Probably have to remove this. There we go. Boom. Yeah, so the cool thing about like our Azure certs is like every cert has a like page will give you the guideline, the outline, and then also you'll get like content at the bottom that you can use to study. I recommend that one. Boris says, look for Adam Mark Zach on YouTube. I don't think I've ever seen his videos, so I'll take Boris's word for that. But yeah, this is free. It's probably like a couple of hours long though. And it's like all text based. There might be some videos in there. But keep in mind that the cert is updating October 25th. So if you're taking it after that, there might be some changes there that you need to be aware of. You said in 2 weeks, I think. Oh, this Friday? Yeah, you're good then. Thank you. No problem. Oh, wait, I keep missing. I've worked with Jira, Confluence, Veeam, backup software, IBM BigFix, IBM AS400, as well as O365 administration, but it's been broken up in a couple of companies. Roughly 1.5 years worth of knowledge total in these. Yeah. So then I guess, list all of those and then just put like the most important things that you've done in like a bullet point or two or a few in each one. Right. So if in one place you worked with like a Jira, you did a lot of like, did you build like custom workflows in Jira or whatever it might be? List that. Confluence, you can list like where you create documentation, that kind of stuff, all those kind of things. Put them in there, like the most important ones. There are videos on Microsoft Learn for AZ-900. Let's look. Let me open one of these up. Oh yeah, you're right. There's like a video on the first one that I clicked. Yeah, my mistake. But what I meant is like it's primarily text-based. Oh, Rishab's not going to make it. Come on, Rishab. It's funny. Instagram is like back up and I'm getting like all these notifications now. Yeah. Short little consumable bits, very easy to consume. Come on, Rishabh. I don't know. Maybe someone will wants to join us as a co-host and chat it up. Actually, let me reach out on Twitter to see if I know anybody that's available at the moment. I'm trying to think like what things that I do in like my ops role, where my operations role that I used as like a good resume. So like in the retail gig, I used a lot of like customer experience and customer like situations that I've been in. It's like great at like, troubleshooting customers' issues or stuff like that, right? Like, that helps. And then once in the help desk gig, I listed documentation, triage, phone support, in-person support, that kind of stuff. Sysadmin listed like scripting, deploying infrastructure, triaging also. Yeah, those kinds of things. I hope he's eating. Thank you, GPS, for what you do here. No problem. If you have any questions at any point, catch me on a live stream. We can always try to address them. Caroline, I don't know. I don't think I've ever streamed. Oh no, we did once, and then I really haven't spoken with Caroline like directly in a while. So, man, it's been raining all day today, and I had like things to get done after work. But that's a bad thing about being in New York. Everything is so walkable, but at the same time, the weather can get in the way. Gwen, if the role is more customer service focused and not so much tech, how do you document the project? So first thing is you can always have personal projects that have nothing to do with your work that you can use to document and put on your resume. Is that some website you build? Is that the cloud resume challenge that you've built? Those kinds of things, right? In terms of projects that you've worked on and more customer service focused, if you focus on like the actual how the issue was brought to you, what steps you did to sort of reproduce the issue and then find solutions, what worked, what didn't work, what was the resolution, and then how you handled the communication, how you handled the documentation of that error or that issue, that, whatever it might be. You can document that as well. Just because something isn't as technical as like the role you want to get into doesn't mean there's like no like use to talking about it. Technical skills, tech stacks, all those things you can learn, but the actual way of like thinking or like piecing apart an issue, it's like harder, right? And then being able to communicate and deal with people is also hard. So, employers want to be able to see that, right? GPS, do you recommend any projects for aspiring cloud students like the Azure Resume Challenge we did, but something people can talk about in their potential cloud interviews? I mean, I think the Azure Resume Challenge is fantastic. You're dealing with serverless databases, serverless functions, cloud storage, CDN, CI/CD, testing, coding. There's like a bunch in there. And then the static website itself is probably like not as significant. and then you have something to showcase, right? I think that's like a great start. What I recommend is once do that, whether you do the Azure version, you do the AWS version. I think there's a GCP version out there as well now. If you want to do all three, fantastic. But when you're working on that project, just look into like which areas you like the most. Like, oh, I really liked the programming part. Oh, I really liked the CDN and the networking part. Oh, I really liked the CI/CD part, right? Try to figure out which one of those you like the most. And then look into more projects that are focused in that area. I know in the Learn to Cloud guide, I listed a few projects in there. I'm going to try to put in more. I know I keep saying this every week, but like life and work is super busy, but there are more projects there too. And I think it's phase 3. Let me put this up here. We're building some stuff with Rishabh as well, some more project ideas. It's sort of like something that I've pushed off to the weekends just because of work and life. So there will be more. By the end of the year, I want to have like at least 2 more projects that I can recommend people to do that I've built from scratch and I've documented it from scratch. So y'all can go, do it on your own and then be able to talk confidently about those things as well. So we'll see. But I would definitely say the Azure Resume Challenge is a fantastic start just because there's like so many. And there's a full I did a full 1.5 hour video on that. Step from scratch to like the whole thing. So if at any point you get stuck, you can just watch the video. So that's a good one. That project taught me so much. Yeah, it's shout out to Forge Brazil who did the original challenge. So yeah, it was cool to see people like struggle through that. Maybe not the struggling part, but like seeing people try and like get stuck and keep going. So did I miss any? I feel like I got all these questions right. Yeah, I actually don't know what let me go to Learn to Cloud. I always forget what projects we listed in the cloud guide. You go to So we have the cloud resume, the Azure resume. 100 days of cloud. I always forget about this. There are like a bunch of project ideas in here. Hold on. Again, this is all in the cloud guide. I'm not like pulling all this out of nowhere. I wrote a lot of these as well back when I was like a member of 100 Days of Cloud. GitHub 100 Days of Cloud, 100 Days of Cloud ideas. There's more stuff in there as well. Stuff that you can like. They're a little bit more like there's like smaller. Oh, you know what? What also is like a fantastic idea? Deploy a ghost blog. I feel like because around like deploying a blog and like you don't actually have to build the blog, you just deploy the infrastructure. But around it, you can like I used to have this one when I was self-hosting, and then I switched to like the hosted by Ghost version. But when I was self-hosting, you could build like monitoring solutions around it. You could have serverless functions that send you data about the performance of the infrastructure and all that kind of stuff too. So I think like deploying one of these is great as well. Yeah, it's like there's plenty of project ideas there. Mehdi says, "What's up? What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing?" We've been live for 45 minutes. I thought I was only gonna like ramble on for like 10 minutes and then Rishabh was gonna come on, but apparently he's not coming on, which is fine. I have to get back to preparing for my talk on Wednesday. We're starting the Cloud Administrator series, people. We're starting with Azure Active Directory, some Azure Active Directory, role-based access control on Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be great. We're going to spend hours getting familiar with Azure RBAC when it comes to cloud administration, how to, grant access to your applications and to your user accounts and stuff like that. So that's going to be a good one. Let me see if it's still raining because I really want to go out. Have you ever had Korean corn dogs? I've been slightly obsessed with them lately. And it's not raining. All right, cool. I wanted to get one today. What was I saying? Oh, okay. Yeah. So Azure RBAC identity stuff. this Thursday, 6 p.m. Be there. If you subscribe to my channel, it's going to be on here live. It's going to be around this. No, it's going to be like 6 p.m. It's 8 p.m. right now. So tune in. It's an hour. You can ask questions. You can hang out. I also provide like resources of things that you can follow, either live or like later after the live, after you watch, that kind of stuff, right? Very casual. It's like the same vibe, except I'm like doing actual stuff and it's just rambling. I ramble, but there's like hands-on stuff. And then we have monitoring. We have, and then I think the CLI, so managing things with CLI. I think this is a mistake that a lot of beginners to cloud make, is where like you're clicking around in the portal instead of using a CLI. So which is clicking around the portal is completely fine when you're like just getting started, but I feel like people forget to like do something in the portal and then also be able to do it in the CLI and like learn commands and become familiar with commands and things like that, right? So yeah, so we're going to do some stuff with that. I think that's next session. And the session after that, we have some monitoring, and then we have some VNet stuff, virtual networks. So it's going to be good. On GitHub, I upload a lot of coding class assignments for my degree. That's fantastic. Also, just make sure you're documenting, use that README. And it doesn't have to be like a live demo or anything like that, but just make sure you're like explaining what's going on, document your stuff. I'm in penetration testing. I want to get to cloud pen testing, but there's so many different vendors to choose from, and any recommendations I want to learn first. Choose the one that is in the most job descriptions in your area. Really, that's what I recommend. 6 p.m. Eastern. Yes, 6 p.m. Eastern. You know what? Let me just double check because I could be wrong. Let me see. Cloud administration. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it is 6 p.m. Eastern. Maybe I have it on here. Yeah, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern. So let's see if I can find the. If I can find the link, I feel like I should have had this ready, right? It's going to be on the 7th. Let me see. Okay, here's first one. Here we go. I got the link, y'all. Let me copy it over. Copy link. All right, here we go. Boom. Let me paste that in there. All right, so aka.ms/October Intro to Cloud Admin. There we go. It's going to be every Thursday for the month of October. And we're covering the topics that I mentioned, 6 p.m. Eastern. And for you Spanish speakers, y hay gente que le interesa aprender un poco de la computación en la nube, en el sentido de administración, voy a hacer esta serie exactamente el mismo material, mismo contenido, mismo tópico, toda esa cosa, en noviembre. Creo que en noviembre son los miércoles, no estoy tan seguro todavía, pero en noviembre vamos a hacer exactamente el mismo contenido de esta serie, pero en español. Así que, si hablas español, te interesa más contenido de Azure en español, lo vamos a tener, ¿ok? Yeah, basically what I just said for those who don't speak Spanish is we're doing the same exact series. So this October Intro to Cloud Administration series. I'm doing it, the same exact thing, same exact content, but in Spanish in November. I promised myself that once I had sort of the bandwidth to do more Spanish content that I would do it. So, this is me sort of living up to my word. So once I have the details on that, I will share them, of course. What chair do you recommend for lower back support? My back be killing me. I have this autonomous AI chair that I got, but to be fair, and I think it's like $300 or something like that. But to be fair, I wouldn't have purchased it if it wasn't like expensed by my job. And this was like my previous job, not my job now. I think like I would much rather like take breaks like more frequently than have like a really expensive chair. So I feel like they're all like gimmicks. Like I wouldn't have paid, even if it was expensive, I wouldn't have paid like some people pay like thousands of dollars in chairs. I'd rather invest that into like, a gym membership or like a foam roller or things like that. Instead of like something that makes it easier for me to sit for hours and hours and hours at my desk. But yes, autonomous AI chair. can you drop the link? No, because then it's like, then it's kind of like an ad. It's autonomous AI. Yeah, but I honestly don't like. I personally don't see the value of paying thousands of dollars for a chair. But yeah, autonomous AI chair. Like that's what I use. I love this chair. It's great. It's freaking fantastic. It does its purpose. I can sit in it. But then again, I don't know if I would feel the same if I had paid the amount for it. Eso, muchas gracias, Gwen. No es muy común ver este tipo de contenido en español. Creo que para muchos el idioma es una barrera para entrar en la nube y tecnología en general. Sí, eso es verdad. Que algo que tal vez sepan o no sepan de mí. Yo estudié en la Universidad de la SUAY en el Ecuador por 2 siglos. Y recuerdo que estaba en ingeniería en sistemas. Y recuerdo que todo el contenido era en inglés. Y gracias a que yo entendía inglés, se me hizo fácil, pero veía a mis compañeros se les hacía bien difícil y siempre me preguntaban a mí qué significa eso, qué significa lo otro. Entonces, no solamente es la desventaja de no saber el idioma y no saber el contenido, pero es como que tienes que aprender inglés primero y después tienes que entender cualquier información tecnológica que tienes que entender para la clase. Haces tu tarea y siempre es una barrera que yo creo que hay bastante gente que habla inglés, habla español, que está ahora en este espacio, entonces creo que cuando nos cae encima de nosotros la responsabilidad de sacar el contenido para toda la gente, ¿no? Me da mucho orgullo de poder hacer eso y tener el apoyo de semejante compañía como Microsoft apoyándome a sacar este contenido adelante, ¿no? Entonces sí, con mucho orgullo y se viene algo bueno y mi compromiso es hacer algo. Yo quiero que sea cada mes, pero vamos a ver qué son las prioridades y toda esa cosa. Pero muchas gracias por tu comentario. Yeah, so anyway, anyone have any other questions? I can answer them in Spanish too, by the way. But yeah, I was just I just mentioned that it's like super cool that Microsoft has like, the minute I mentioned to my boss like, hey, I want to do Spanish first content, he was like, let's do it. Literally do it right, like do it the next month. So I was just like, so it was just, I don't know, it feels great to be on a team that like supports your ideas, right? So yeah, that was great. Oh, that reminds me, I also want to do the Learn to Cloud Guide in Spanish. Oh man, so much stuff I want to do. Goodness gracious. And I'm also trying to live my life and move to being in New York for a month already. It's kind of crazy. What are some things to expect to learn in the Cloud Admin stream this Wednesday? I don't know. I actually wrote the description. I don't remember exactly what it was, but let me take a look. How do I click on this? Oh, here. We're doing access control with Azure RBAC, right? So let's see, we're going to manage access to Azure resources with RBAC. We'll verify access, resources grant, view activity logs of Azure RBAC. Yeah, so those kind of things. It's only an hour, so it's kind of hard to like pack every single thing in there. But yeah, we'll cover like a primer on how to use our RBAC to grant access to your resources. SC300. I don't know what the SC300 certification is. Microsoft Identity and Access Administrator. Yeah, it'll be like a solid like introduction. If you've never used Azure AD, this will probably like be helpful. Again, the goal for this series is to be like someone who hasn't used cloud at all, but you want to get into cloud admin and have like a solid foundation of cloud administration skills. I'm grabbing sort of like the largest areas. So identity, monitoring, networking, and then automation. So like CLI stuff. I wouldn't say automation, but like using CLI and commands. And then putting them all together in these 4 1-hour streams and getting that into place, right? IMA stuff. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to log off because I got to go get some errands done before it starts raining again. But I'll be on stream, I don't know, tomorrow, someday, and just, hop on anytime and ask questions. See y'all later.